Always a way. Whether it is raising money to buy a property or to do what you really want to do, there's always a way to either partner up with people and be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So what I want you to do once you go home is to figure out what is your why. What is that one thing that you can look back, and when things are tough, because life is going to happen, what are things where you can put a picture of it in your refrigerator or in your car, and remember that when you want to quit, maybe you don't want to call all these people, or maybe if life gets too hard, you look at that why, and you remember why you did it for. Because I do have some time, just a couple more minutes, I'll share this quick story. In 2013, I ran a marathon in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa. And what I did it was the first time I ever ran a marathon. And that morning, I put 13 names in one hand and 13 names in the other one of the people that changed my life or that were important in my life. And it went from friends in the beginning to family in the end. And every mile I dedicated to that person. And then I imagined that person at the end of that mile going to give me a high five. And that person became my why, or why I was running that race for. So at the end of the day, at the end of the race, when I'm on mile 22 and mile 23, when my legs are getting numb and I'm running in different ways, because I didn't want to walk it either, and I was like, I'm running sideways, I'm running backwards because I didn't want to walk. And I was able to do it, but it gave me the power to be like, okay, I'm doing it not just for me, but I'm doing it for my great-grandma who's back in Peru, or for my grandpa that's back in Peru. And having that why gave me enough power to finish it in less than 4 hours, and it was amazing. I did it in 3 hours and 46 minutes. And of course later I was super sore, but it was definitely a great opportunity. And when I got to mile 26 and all the people were done, the next person was me. It's just my skin. So I did the last 0.2 for me. And that is why I believe that the why is strong enough. So I always think that if you guys can, I always say, if you have that why, and it's a why that you know is going to push you through those hard times, write that down and say it every day for you, because it will work magic. So that is me. This is my email, and if you guys want to learn more about house hacking too, you can go to househackingclub.com, and I have a free ebook there. But one of the quick things as a realtor, because I know that a lot of you guys are realtors, house hacking for me as a realtor was also a great opportunity to get clients in the future, because then I'm teaching hungry millennials that want to do the same thing that I'm doing. Is that, hey, I can teach you how to live for free. So if you can do that, you can get a lot more clients, because what's going to happen is you can show one person how to buy a home, and then those roommates are realizing, if they're smart, they'll be like, I want to do this too, because I'm paying this guy and he's living for free. I want to do it too. Well, if you did a good job with that client, he's going to refer you to that same person. So you can do many, many deals. I've done 3 or 4 deals already just through my house hacking in the last 2 years. And it has been amazing, because then those people are wanting to learn more. And this is something that maybe you don't deal with millennial clients as much, but if you have a client and you know that their son or daughter is going to go to college somewhere where you sell homes, why don't you tell them, hey, buy a property, have your child live there and live with roommates, and then in 4 years you can sell that property or keep it. So it just gives you different strategies. There's always different ways to get more clients, just through house hacking, or just asking people, hey, I know that you just moved to LA or Anaheim or whatever. I'm helping you rent now, but in the future I can help you buy a house and it's for free. Something along those lines, because that has helped me a lot in the past. Any questions? Is it okay if I do a Q&A? Yeah.
I don't really have a question, but thank you. So this opened up my mind. I do have a roommate, which is a tenant. I own my home for $950. But then I started looking into the Airbnb, and it's $50 a day per room. If I rent out my whole house, $225 to $240. So now my brain's really a day.
Yeah.
So a day. And I'm thinking, where can I live? If I can grab my dog and just, I can live somewhere.
Yeah.
Small.
Well, check this out. Yeah. Yeah, so why don't you do this, right? Maybe, okay, if you can rent out the whole house for $300 and there's a $50 a night in one room somewhere else, you can go in that room for 3 nights, pay $150, but maybe you made $1,000.
$230 to $240.
Yeah.
But the room would be, a night would only be like $50 for
Yeah.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Because you can go to that room to like, you rent out another room somewhere else where you're paying $50, but then the math adds up where you're making now, you might not be making, even though somebody's paying $250, you can pay $200 a night, right? Yeah, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, in reference to your the formula that you gave us, how did you use that personally to build on in terms of your tracking? What did you look out for to be able to incrementally get that number higher? Can you explain that more?
Yeah, so what I did is I took that formula, right? And the first thing you have to do is, in the beginning for me, it was 0, right? So what I did is I took that formula and I was like, how can I get from, and my expenses at that time were $3,000, let's just say. So then what I did is I figured out what are some opportunities that I can invest in that could get me to maybe $300 a month or $500 a month, right? And that's where house hacking became an option. And then what happened was, then because I was living for free, so I took, let's say, $10K, bought that property. From there, now I'm making $300, right, a month. So then now I have 300 divided by 3,000, let's say. So now I'm at 10%. And then I said, okay, what can I do next? And next became, and this is like the power of the mastermind group and the people that you surround yourself with, is that was my topic of conversation with the people around me. It's like, what are you doing this year to get to maybe a 50% or a 25%? And that gave me opportunities to talk to wholesalers, look at deals, and continue investing. And then what happened was, I had a buddy who he lived in Colorado, but he saw what I was doing with house hacking, and he became a business partner. And then we just started to buy homes in North Austin, and I rented out the rooms, and that allowed me to get more passive income. But slowly but surely, a lot of people think that you need to hit your home run in the beginning, in the first try, and that's why people don't take action. I'm a big believer of just getting to first base and learning from it. Even if you might lose money or break even, but if it depends on how much you lose, right? But as long as you can break even or make some money, I'm always just take action. Take action, because you learn more by stepping over that fear, and also by the problems that you get to solve, so that you don't make those mistakes later. And that's why, for example, with Sam, he's been trying to buy some properties in Austin, and he will send me the numbers. I run them, and then if he has questions, he calls Gary, and then Gary says, hey, you know what? These are the numbers. This looks like a good deal. This doesn't look like a good deal. So having that kind of opportunity makes it much easier to take action, because you have the right people around you. So I just started buying. Then I looked at what strategies I wanted to have, right? Some people might invest for appreciation. I always invested for cash flow, and that's why I always focused in becoming 100, getting my cash flow higher every year. And now I'm up to the point where I am 100%er, and it gives me more opportunities to do what I want to do.
E-money?
Other questions? Yes.
So how did you know that that strategy was going to work in your area? How did you determine the people that you were renting to, and that strategy was going to work in that area?
Yeah, so one of the best opportunities. So what I did is I looked at apartments, one apartments, and I knew that they were going for like $1,100 or $1,000 in Austin. And this is in North Austin, so it's not like downtown where it's a lot more. But having that, I went on Craigslist and I looked at what is available. There is a couple of links on Craigslist. If you go to Craigslist, housing and rooms and shares, you will see that there's rooms for rent in your area. And you can see what's the average. So there might be rooms for 600, for 650, 800, and you can look at the pictures and see what kinds of descriptions they have. And there might be some that are all inclusive, like all bills paid. Others you split it with the tenants. But seeing that on Craigslist allowed me to come up with a price and to really see that there was a demand.
And could I do a follow-up question? Yeah. So, and what was your method for who you rented to, for determining who you rented to?
Yeah, so for me, one of the things that I did is I wrote a post, an ad on Craigslist, and I mentioned, my name is Diego, I'm 25 years old, I've been here in Austin, this is what I'm looking for my roommates. I described the house, so the ad needs to have very specific things, and I can email them. I can email you the ad, but basically it has what the property is close to, description of the property, the description of the ideal room, and then a description of yourself. And then if it's a good fit, they will call you. And usually I would ask them on the phone, like, they will call me. And then I ask them a couple of questions, like, what's your living situation now? Are you either coming from out of state, or you live in Austin already, and stuff like that. And then, for example, most of my roommates have been people in their 20s, and they have to be okay, because the ideal house hack for a single family home is a 4-bedroom home with 2.5 baths. Just so that you know that there can be a roommate, like while you're in the master, a roommate can be in the shower, and then another roommate can go to the bathroom downstairs. And there's no issue like that. So I've learned from that. But once you share the type of people that are living in the house, the applicant will be like, okay, you know what, this is not for me. And others are saying, you know what, this is exactly what I want. And when I tell them, hey, you'll be living with 3 millennials and that are in their 20s, they do IT and stuff like that, then it's great. Unfortunately, I've been investing in areas where there are a lot of IT people, and they make good money. So I've had tenants that don't want to spend $1,000 or $1,200 living in a 1-1 apartment, and so it works great. And they make good money, they're good people, and then I do a background check and all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Just quickly, guys, I just wanted to give you a quick background. So when Dig and I met, it was in Lake Tahoe. Robert was here, Robert Creamer. And you notice here at the end of you were speaking, you had a bit of a stutter, right? Well, it was actually a lot more profound back then. And what I will tell you is, so when I heard him speak back at Breckenridge a few months ago, he was in a contest. Actually, Jason was in a contest. There were 4 finalists, and they were 2 or 3 of the 4 finalists. And I'm thinking, my gosh, he's made so much progress over the years. But don't you think it takes a lot of guts to get up here and do this for people? So, giving people opportunities to grow. It's one of the great pleasures of being able to do what I do. The success I've achieved allows me to do these types of things. And we do co-develop products with each other. So I've got another idea for a product you put up there. So, by the way, so obviously, would you say he's living the American dream?
Yes.
And I tell you what, it's just heartwarming, it's refreshing to see this in 2019 after, what, 200 and, how many years is that? 200, almost 50 years we've been around, and the dream is still alive, guys, okay? Don't listen to the media, just focus on your heart, focus on people you're networking with and associating with, and I tell you, the dream is alive and well just as much as it was 250 years ago. Would you agree?
Yes.
All right. A couple quick things. I'm going to bring up, thanks, Dave. I'm going to bring up Eric Bell. But before I do, a couple of questions came up during the break. When it comes to co-developing businesses, is this thing working? Okay. Okay, how about now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Never put me in control of technology. We'll be here all day. So this is for the next time. So in any case, the answer is yes. Some of you probably have ideas you'd like to develop, skills, talents you have that you want to offer to other people. And that is one of the things we do at the mastermind level. It's not just all about buying and selling real estate and doing fun things, okay? Another question that came up, I mentioned several different mastermind groups. I just want to make sure you understand specifically the one that I run myself is the one that you guys all have access to directly. You do have access to others indirectly through me. So for example, at GoAbundance, some of you may qualify right now, okay? And you can come with me as one of my guests to one of those other events and then have access to people like Hal Elrod. Remember when Diego showed Hal Elrod's in our mastermind group, okay? I know him personally. He's written several books. I know other people who have written books with him. They would co-develop that type of stuff together. So that's part of it too. Another question I got was, what about doing deals? So how many of you have an interest in doing deals with other people? I mean, not just other people, but people like this. These people like up on the screen here. So yes, that is part of what we do. There's two levels. One level is we work together, and if there's something that's pretty spectacular or pretty high dollar, for example, right now there's a bank, there's a group of American Indians, both U.S. and Canadian, who are developing, and this is, by the way, this is hot off the presses, so it's sort of confidential. I'm not going to give you names, but they're all either First Nation from Canada or Native American Indians here in the U.S. So they're building a bank, and they contacted me almost a year ago, and at first I said, thanks but no thanks. I had nothing against Native American people, it's just at the time, it wasn't in my wheelhouse, okay? And so in any case, it turns out this is actually a pretty big deal. It's actually in front of Congress, and there's all this momentum going on, and I get to be part of that. So that's something I would introduce to the GoAbundance group. Another opportunity might be tomorrow morning we'll get to meet Kate Krause, who's coming in from Milwaukee, I think tonight. She's the one who's converting a big church, $12 million project, and we put that in front of the GoAbundance group. So